Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. So this is part 3 of the rather epic retro PC stash that I bought on Boxing Day. It's now the middle of January. We've done 2 parts and we have 4 more machines to look at out of the 12. These are all ATX machines, a bit newer than all those AT machines we looked at last time. And there will be a part 4 because we have 3 motherboards that actually don't work out of the previous batch. One has a short. I think actually, come to think about it, there were actually 4 that didn't work and 4 that did work. So there will definitely be another part. I want to have a look at those and let's see if we can get some more of those working. Also, I've been in the UK, guys, a few days. My father is really ill at the moment and I went over to see my mother and father. So if you notice, again, this may happen that I'm publishing videos but not replying to any comments. It's just because those videos have been scheduled to publish while I'm away, which is what happened over the weekend just gone. But as you probably also noticed, when I get back, I do come back and read all your comments and will respond to them, yeah. So anyway, enough wittering on about that. Let's get stuck into these. So this is the first of the 4. This is really quite dirty, messy. I think we may be able to see a little bit inside this actually. Let's get a torch and have a look, see if we can see anything interesting. Well, really we can't see anything other than the wires from the ATX. So, yep, hard to say. Let's have a look at the back and see if we can have some guesses what we might have here. Oops, sorry if I hit the microphone, if I didn't manage to edit that out. Sorry, the thump on the head you guys just got. So we have PS2 keyboard and mouse, 2 USB, LAN card and a video card. I'm guessing this is an AGP machine. And with 2 USB there, it could be an early P4, could be something else. So let's get a look inside, yeah. Do you want to get your guesses in, guys? Play the game, yeah. My guess is this probably is a P4, just based on things I've had from the same guy. Quick reminder, so I had 12 computers, all of them cost me €15 each. That was €180 spent. We have a pretty decent profit now, but we will continue with the balance from the previous video, which will come onto your screens now. Okay, what have we got? Oh, it ain't a P4. It's not a P4. I don't know what it is, but it's not a P4. It said XP on the front of it on the license, so there's no stickers, but I'm guessing this is an AMD machine. Full-size ATX. Oh, it has a VIA chipset. Wouldn't that make it an Intel machine, actually? Come to think about it. It doesn't have any... Oh, yes, it does have like a 12 volt. It's down here, next to the 20 way, yeah. So, it's not a P4, I'm pretty certain. It has a couple of cards and there's a graphics card. It says MX4 on it, you might not be able to see it. So it's probably, yeah, GeForce card and a little LAN card, okay. And the missing front covers, blanking plates. Okay, let's do the usual process. We'll check for short circuits on here. If we don't see any, I'll connect it up to the light bulb using the original power supply and let's see what this one does. Short circuits first. That's fine. That's just fine. Okay, light bulb next. Those of you who watched the recent video will know we have a new current limiter. There, the one with the 2 light bulbs on. So this is a 140 watt limiter. It's switched off here, so this is actually the output switch. I can switch the power on. And then this one, if it's lit up red, it tells we're on direct mains. If it's off, we're on the limiter. Okay, so we can now switch this on. And I think we can see straight away that nothing happened. There's no on-off switch on this power supply, but it didn't draw any power. Switch it back on again. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Oh, but it starts, okay. And I can take the light bulb limiter out. So it just didn't draw any power initially. It's now on direct mains. Let's go again. So we'll switch it off. We'll leave this on direct. We'll power it up again. Let's see what happens. I heard the hard drive clunk. There's a hard drive in this one. No bleeps, but I'm not sure there's a speaker on it. I'll get the VGA connector and I'll connect the VGA to it. So switch it off again. VGA. Let's see if we get anything. You can see the screen now. So once again, power on, start. Does anything happen? No, it doesn't. No bleeps, no light on the monitor. I'll just set this to VGA to be sure. VGA. Nothing. Oh, blue light on the monitor. No signal. Okay, I will take this one apart. Let's get this motherboard out on the bench so we can see what we have. We can get a known good power supply and let's see what we can do with it. And here's the motherboard. So this is an MSI K7T Turbo 2. It looks like it's a socket 7 or 370 motherboard. So it could be anything, I guess, from like a Pentium MMX or something to a Pentium 3. The fact it has a USB on, well, it actually doesn't really tell me a lot. So, yeah, maybe it's a Pentium 3 this. It takes PC133 RAM, and that very much makes me think it is a Pentium 3. So, that was my guess, guys, but it's only a guess. I also guess some of you guys can probably shout at the screen. Get into the comments below and tell me that you knew what it was, and I was wrong. MX4, GeForce 4 MX4 or something, whatever. Okay. We can get it in, yeah. Another interesting thing with this, by the way, at least I thought it was quite interesting, apart from the fact I've got the graphics card jammed in it, is that the AGP slot doesn't have any keys in it, look. It's like a universal, I guess. It's not keyed at all. Although obviously the graphics card is keyed. Okay. We'll have to push the thing out of the way. There we go, it's in. Okay, so I'll balance this up on a box and then let's see what we can do with it. I have the known good power supply on. If this is a Pentium 3 socket 370, which is what I think it is, they must be quite uncommon, certainly around here, because this I think is only the second one I've found since I've had the channel, which is best part of 2 years. And the first one, I could not get it working. I think I actually had that before the channel, to be quite honest. It is still here, but I've never been able to get it to work. Okay, so known good power supply. Let's get a bleeper and a start switch and let's see what we can do. So power on, start. It starts. No bleeps, no nothing. So let's take the graphics card back off, take the RAM out, we'll have just the motherboard. Let's see if we can get any life out of it. This is really not easy to get out at all. I don't know why, it's very stiff. Remove the RAM, okay. Will it bleep? I had a little click on the speaker. It doesn't bleep. Okay, let's put the PCI post analyzer on. let's see if this is actually doing anything. There you go, guys, you can see it once again. Power. It is doing something. Just going no further than that. See if it does the same thing every time. Power on. Yeah, the same thing again. This is like, well, let's take the battery off. Actually, imagine this has got no power in it. It's acting like maybe it's a CMOS thing or even an EEPROM thing. Let's have a look. Or something else thing, of course. Okay. Volts. There's nothing in that at all. See if this is a good one. I have a few lying around. I'm not sure that they're good. Let's have a look. Yeah, but there's not enough in it. Bin. This is a new one. That's better, 3.2. Okay. I'm thinking maybe this is the clear CMOS. JBAT. Possibly is a clear CMOS. Just link it on there for a moment or 5. And then we'll link it back again. Okay. We can always take the battery off, but to be quite honest, the battery was flat, so what's that going to help? Let's see what it does. Does exactly the same. Okay. I'll just try reseating this BIOS chip. What's this say? This is a Phoenix BIOS. Okay. And we can also possibly look up this code and see if it tells us anything useful. I do have a proper extractor for these, but let's try it this way. Be careful not to break the socket. I've actually broke the end off this. Okay, where's the extractor? You can never find what you want when you want it. Just find something a little bit thicker to get under here. Gently, gently. Okay, it's going to come. Okay, so I have the BIOS removed. Let me see if I can just get rid of the bit that fell inside it. I mean, I don't see where it's gone. Well, that's a bit worrying because I can't even see it. Let me have a look. I'm not sure where that is. I mean, it's like I can see something down there, but I don't think that's actually anything. No, at an angle I can just see it's just a brown plastic from the base actually, so wherever that went to, it ain't in there. Okay. Power on. Same thing. Same thing. This is acting to me, that sort of problem is often the BIOS, could be the processor. Let's have a look to see what we've got then, see what this thing actually is. Yeah, let's see what it is. Oh, it's an AMD Athlon. It's nothing like what I thought it would be. I thought with the VIA chipset it would be Intel, socket 462, Athlon, 2400 plus. Okay. That's a little thermocouple. At first I thought it was a dead cockroach. I actually thought I was a dead cockroach in there. Couple. You can see, by the way, all the capacitors look good. Let's put it back in again. Yeah, there was some heatsink compound on it. It's a bit now. I'm not that good at these old motherboards, am I, guys, by the way? I'm sure a lot of you knew full well this was in fact an Athlon. But it's all part of the fun. Let's see. So I've reseated the CPU. I honestly don't think this will make any difference. No, same code. What's he do if I put the graphics card back in? Does that make any difference? Okay, let's have a look. No, exactly same, C1. Okay, so Phoenix bias C1. Let's see if that tells us anything. I'm sure it will tell us something, but whether it's anything of any use is another matter. It's saying for Phoenix, initialize post error manager. That sounds like a BIOS problem to me. Initialize post, yeah. Always worth a try, but I'm pretty sure it'll do the same thing. Yeah. Okay, so this one I think we need to at least try and find a BIOS file for it. Let's see if we can find one. Well, a little bit surprisingly, it looks like we may be in luck here. So this is MSI.com, K7T Turbo 2 support, BIOS. Let's have a look. Ah, drivers and downloads, award BIOS, award. Well, strange, this is an award BIOS. Mine actually says Phoenix on, maybe it's the same thing, I don't know. Okay. This seems to be the latest version. Supports, yes, this is my processor. This is the motherboard, okay. Let's go for it. Okay, so we have a downloaded file. Let's see what it looks like. It's a zip file. We could check it for viruses, although I suspect from MSI's site it will be just fine. Yep. Doesn't seem to have any issue with it. Let's have a look what we have inside it. How to flash. And this, I'm guessing, is probably the actual file, 256K. This is probably the flash utility, which is of no use to us. But it looks like we have, that's a standard size and binary, 256K. I'm sure that's the actual BIOS file. Okay, let's try it. I have the program attached. You can see it here. This is a USB device. This is a TL866, a very, very good EEPROM programmer. But you won't program everything. You always find with EEPROM programmers, you need more than one. Well, let's have a go. So we'll try and find the chip. So it's a Winbond chip, and it's marked W49F002. Some letters after that. UP. So 002. I can see U. So I'm guessing that is probably going to be the one. It's not that chip. PLCC32 is probably that one. If you want to know which package it is and you're not sure, then just Google for the actual package. So we'll go for PLCC32 and see what one looks like. PLCC32 socket. Yeah, one of them. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we'll choose that one. Seems the closest. Select. Now let's try and read it. So read. It's reading okay. It's identified it correctly. Okay, and it's read it. So what I will do is actually save that. That's the original. If you look, there's a bit of text in here. Often towards the bottom, you might actually see some readable text, like your floppy drive, BIOS, RAM, body bar. It doesn't particularly look corrupted, but you never know. Let's try. So we'll save that, and we'll call it original or orange. Save that. And here we have it, and we can actually have a look. If we just look at that, it should be the same size as the one we've downloaded. Yes, 256. Okay, so now we can open the other one. This is the one we just downloaded. Open, okay. And it looks really to be pretty much the same thing. Let's have a quick look if we see text in this one. Yeah, we can see the text in there, look. Okay, but let's just try programming it. So, program. Begin. Always takes longer to program than it does to read, but not too much longer. Erasing, programming, verifying. Okay, so it's done. So let's put that back into our motherboard and let's see if it made any difference at all. Okay, I've cleaned the RAM slots, although I'd be surprised that there would be a problem there. I mean, even if they were dirty, there was no RAM in there. I'd be surprised that actually caused it to hang, unless it really was trying to bleep. At least it fits in nice now. Let's see what it does. Oh, would you believe it? Yeah, it's gone a bit further. I'm surprised I'm not getting any bleeps out of this. I mean, it's still hanging up. I still don't have anything in the way of video. We could try another graphics card. Let's try the RAM in a different slot. And we can also try other RAM. Okay, second slot. Different code. Interesting. Without RAM. Okay, so we get that without RAM, but it doesn't bleep. Try this slot. Seems to be booting. Yeah, it's booting. So, figure that one, guys. I have a strange, like, dashed thing on the screen there. I think this graphics card may have some problems because it's like a bit blobby. Yeah, look at this up here. There's a graphics card that appears to have some problems. And now it's bleeping like there's no RAM. Well, go figure that one. Let me try another graphics card. Or at least clean the contacts on this one. Okay. Go again. Booting. And now it's basically saying there's no graphics card, I think. I'll try another one. Could be saying there's no monitor. Sometimes I'll do that, by the way. We'll just double check that. Put the monitor onto the graphics card. Go again. Okay, doesn't like this graphics card. I had a look, so the AGP slot which has no key positions in it are actually universal. Will work with any AGP card, so let's try this one. It doesn't seem to like it. Stopped on the 26, yeah. 26, not 26. Stopped on 26. I've got one or two more. I'm sure I can find one that will do something. I've tried a number of different RAM strips, I've tried different graphics cards, but I think this motherboard has a problem probably with the Northbridge. So if I start it now, you'll see it gets into a bit of a loop there, C0, C1 for example, yeah? If I just like put a bit of pressure on the Northbridge like so, and we try again, you see it's going to a different code, and I can get it to do quite a lot of different things, and that's just effectively by pushing down on the Northbridge. Okay, try again and see what it does this time. You see this time it just sits at 0. Okay, and I'm really not disturbing anything else while I do this. Okay, a little push again on the Northbridge. Still on 0. Just again, just flex it slightly like so. You see now it's giving it a different code again. So I honestly think this actually has some problem here. This is probably a bump gate era motherboard, in fact. And I think that's where the problem lies. I can take the graphics card out and get much the same effect. So just by flexing the board, you see that's giving me all 0s. Flex it slightly that way. You see, completely different, yeah? It's like there's a bad connection somewhere in. I think it's probably under this, you know. See? One more touch and I can get it to sort of do what it was doing before. And I'm not flexing it very much. All 0s this time. Push down on it a little bit. 7s. Now let's try just put some pressure on it and start it, okay? Well, that time it just started. Okay, put a bit of pressure on this. All 0s. So you can see it just won't act in any sort of reliable manner. I mean, it may be a problem with the capacitors, but they all look good to me. And if it was a problem with the capacitors, you wouldn't expect it to react in different ways by putting some pressure on here. You see now I've got it like in the case where it'll just stick on 0. Okay. Bit of flexing. See? 1D. So it's acting in many different ways depending on that. And I actually think that is what the problem is with it. See, that will have flexed it again, just putting that in there. And it's back to the 0s again. Okay, so unless anybody's got some clever idea, yes, I could try heating this thing up. What the hell? You know, it's not going to do any harm. But yeah, go on, let's just give it a bit of heat. But I don't think it'll make any difference, at least not in a positive way. It actually looks like somebody has spotted this problem before, because this is all sticky, and I would expect for something of this age it's not going to be. In fact, I'm not even sure they would have heat sink compounds all over it like that. So it would occur to me that somebody else has had a look at this and come to the same conclusion. Put that off there. Okay. A little push. Let's see what it wants to do now. RAM. Analyzer. On. We have all 0s. Okay. A little bit of pressure on that. Okay, still all 0s. Again. All 0s. Now let's try to flex it the other way. So flex it slightly that way. Yeah, and you see, to an extent it wants to boot up again. So I'm pretty confident that, guys, that's what's wrong with it. And I will try to heat it up as I just promised. Okay, let's give it some heat, yeah. Let's get a thermocouple as well while we're doing it. In fact, no, let's use the handheld temperature gun. So this is just a handheld thermometer basically. Pull the trigger. Okay, point the laser at it. 25.6. Let's warm it up. I'll just get these wires out of the way a little bit. Okay. $61, $58. How warm would you like to go, guys? Yeah, how warm would you like to go with it? 90, 88. I will say, by the way, this has never worked for me even once. 106, 112, yeah, fairly constant. Should we get to about 120? What do you think? Well, that's about 120. Cooling down a little bit now. Okay, let that cool down and let's see what we get. Okay, we're down to like 47 degrees, so it's cooled down a fair bit. I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot anymore. Let's give that a go. So, power on. Boot up. And it doesn't do anything now. This is what usually happens to me when I try this trick. It just makes it worse, if anything at all. Flex it a little bit. Okay, bleeping to say no RAM, and the RAM is connected to this, by the way. I can see where all the tracks are going, I'm sure you can see. So this does in fact have the memory controller included. Back to nothing. Little flex. Nothing. It seems to be the other way that gets it to do something, like so. Yeah. RAM. RAM. I think we should try to reflow this or even reball it. I think it could be an interesting video, and to be quite honest, the best place to learn these techniques is on something like this. Really, it doesn't matter if it goes badly or horribly wrong, it'll be funny. But you never know, I'm sure there's something to learn. So if you guys think so, and probably even if you don't, I'm up for it. Yeah, let's see if we can reflow, and we can talk about the difference between sticking it in the oven, reflowing it and reballing it. But that's such an interesting topic. Let's do it on another video, next one or two from now. Yeah, and just let me know your thoughts on that. In the meantime, let's look at the next machine. So this is the next one. It's all falling to bits basically, as you can see. So I'm just going to take the motherboard out of this. It has a Creative PC DVD and an LG. Maybe the Creative one's worth a little bit. It's a bit scuffed, it probably isn't. I'll try and clean it. So this is obviously a P4. So we'll just take this apart. And here is the motherboard. The RAM, I noticed, is actually not inserted properly. I don't know if that was the case originally. So we can certainly put this in. This board looks like, yes, it takes PC133 and it takes DDR400. It's one of these hybrid boards. that basically came out between the two technologies. It doesn't want to even fit in that way, it's actually in the wrong way round, and I hadn't moved it, so I guess it was originally like that. I found this in another machine we looked at not so long ago. This is a P4 power supply, if you like. So it has the 20-way connector on, but it seems to be a better quality one than the known good one that I use. So let's have a look. It's even got gold fans on it, yeah. Let's try it. I don't recall trying this in the machine, so I'll connect the light bulb to it, I think, just to make sure it's not going to go bang. No shorts on this, I'm sure. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's give it a go. Yeah, no problem with it, so we can put it directly to mains. And we're good to go. Power on. Yeah, green light on, start. And it's bleeping. Continuous bleep, but it is bleeping. Let's see. I'll just take the RAM out. Let's see if it bleeps the same without the RAM. Yeah. So same bleep with or without the RAM. I'll just try the other slot. Okay. Doesn't bleep this time. Let's connect the monitor. And again. Doesn't bleep, doesn't boot. No blue light. See, we're on VGA. Yeah, VGA. Okay. I'll try just giving the RAM slots a clean on this one. They feel a little bit sticky, to be honest. Okay, I've cleaned the slots with some isopropyl alcohol. I've cleaned the edge of the DIMM. Let's see what happens. Still no bleeps, no blue light. Try the other one. The same. Let's try another DIMM. This is a 256 meg. And this is a 1 gig. Okay. But one bleep. Oh, okay. So this looks like faulty RAM actually on this one. Yeah, there we go. Got a picture. We're into the BIOS. Okay, let's try the other RAM slot. Okay. Yeah, one bleep. And we're into the BIOS again. So this one actually appears to be working. No doubt it needs a battery. I'll just see if I can find 2 strips of RAM and we'll put both of them in with the same capacity. So 1 gig. Now these are both 1 gig. They're both Kingston, slightly different model, but let's have a go. I would expect this would work, seeing as both slots are working. Okay. Yeah, one bleep. and we boot it up. I don't have a keyboard attached to it, but I can soon fix that. Okay, I'll try to restart it with the keyboard attached. So it would appear this power supply is a good one. I'll probably keep this as the test one now. Okay. Yeah, keyboard's working. I'll just load the defaults and then we can start it. I don't have the hard drive for this one, but at least it'll tell me how much RAM there is fitted, I think. Let's have a look. Load setup defaults. Yes. Exit and save. So we can now see, I'll just expand the window a little bit. This is a Celeron, 2 gigahertz, and we have the 2 gig of RAM. I'm quite confident then that this will actually work. This is a P4S533MX. It's the 800 megahertz ones that are worth the most, but this is still probably 30 or 40 pounds. Let's have a look to see if any have actually sold recently on eBay and how much money they fetch. Okay, we can see there are some for sale and several of them. £25, they're not fetching very much, these ones. Let's have a look to see if any have actually sold. I'll just move the window a bit so it's not obscured by the camera. So to see if any have sold, we just go to advanced, we choose sold listings only, and we search again. Well, interestingly, that is a different version. I wonder why it makes such a difference in price. There's one there which sold for 44. That was in November. And another one fetched 95. I can't quite understand why that's such a difference. I'm going to put this one down as being worth 25. It's worth selling at that price, so we'll add that to the total. And we have 2 more machines to look at. These are the last 2. So again, this one, quite a lot of stuff missing at the front of it. Can we see what it is? Well, judging by this last one, it's probably another AMD machine. Okay. Probably another AMD. Much the same really then. PS2 connections, 2 USB, no LAN connectors on board, graphics card in there. Quite an old one, this type of backing plate or blanking plate where it's screwed onto the case were the old ones. Let's have a look to see what's inside this one. Okay. Well, it isn't. It says socket 370 on it. It's a socket 370. Little cooling fan, 1 AG piece. What? Okay. In fact, it says P6. No, PC370 it says on the slot. Let's zoom down a bit. Okay, so this is probably something a little bit more interesting. This is an older machine. Maybe this is a P3, P6 BAP, P6 BAP, dash ME. Let's see with this one. I'm not going to power it up on the original power supply. I'm sure I'm going to be very interested in this motherboard. So I'm going to take it out of the case. There's no hard drive. And let's have a look to see what this is. And here we have it. There was no hard drive on this machine, just the motherboard and graphics card. Oh, and the 52 times CD-ROM. Probably will come clean. The graphics card is this one, SD1M16-4. Don't really know what that is. Can't really easily read the code unless it's 2001, maybe. Hard to say. Maybe it's not a year code at all. So that's what we have. The motherboard, as I said, P6BAP-ME. This is an ECS motherboard. Bit of fluff and dust in it. Overall, this should be rather more interesting than the last P4. Let's see if we can power this off the known good power supply. This doesn't have any onboard video, so I've plugged the graphics card back in that came with it. We're ready to go. Power is on. Let's see what it does. Well, it starts, or at least the power comes on. Then the fan stops, but the power supply fan is still on. It's interesting. Switch that off again. Oh, look, and this kicks back in again. This appears to have some problem, unless this is on some sort of control, so it only spins effectively when it's warm. Yeah, did the same thing. No bleeps. Nothing on the monitor. Okay. So take this back out. Let's take the RAM out. A bit stiff and sticky, as often seems to be the case with these old motherboards. Yeah, like it's gooey. Okay, take them out. So we get any sounds out of it. Nothing. Okay, I'll put the analyzer card on, see what that tells us. Okay, once again. One. See if it does the same again. Just power it back on. One. Okay, so it's like it's not starting up basically. I'll just check the CMOS. I'm pretty confident this will have no charge in it, and we can try fitting a good one. Nothing, zero basically. I have seen some old boards that won't start with a flat CMOS pattern. So you never know your luck with this, yeah. Put a new one in. Okay. It's good. Let's see what that does. Nothing. We switch off with the power button. Yes. Go again. Different code, but still not booting. Okay, let's have a look to see which processor we have. Well, it is a Pentium 3. That much I got right. Have a look. It's 800 megahertz, okay. And I do have some spare Pentium 3s. This is a 733. So let's see. Let's see if this works. Pop it in there. Power it on. Start. Ah. That looks like it's either a faulty CPU or one that wasn't sitting well in the socket. Let's have a look. Okay. Put it back in again. Set it on. Let's have a look. Just wasn't sitting well in the socket. Okay, so that's what the problem was with this one. The CPU's not sitting well in the socket. Add a little bit more. Probably too much there. Okay, I'll just give this a wipe actually, since I've just put quite a bit of fresh stuff on there. Okay, that's on. So it's bleeping, probably to say there's no RAM. which of course there isn't. I'll give the slots a bit of a clean while I have the RAM out because they were quite sticky. And then let's see if this will boot up. I've noticed this one has a sticker on which has a date, 5th of the 10th, 99. So depending which is the month and the day, but this machine is 1999. Let's see what it does. We'll just stick one in. These were 32-bit machines, so they don't require 2 strips of RAM. It's booting. I think it's... and saying there's no graphics card. And then the fan came on, so that seems to be normal for this board. Okay, attach the monitor and let's see if we can get a picture. Once again. Blue lights on, yes. Yes, we've got a good one, guys. We've got a good one. 800 megahertz P3, we can just make that a bit bigger. Okay, so we have 64 meg of RAM, and that is a 64 meg strip, so is this one. We'll try them both in a minute. And the processor 800 megahertz. Okay, just stick the other one in. Okay. Go again. Yep, it's seen the RAM. I've frozen. I'm back. Yeah, so that I think is another good one. There was no hard drive with it, but really I have no reason to suspect that this is a problem. It mentions on here that this is motherboard is from 2000, so it's slightly newer than the RAM. Let's have a look to see if a Pentium 3 has any value in 2023. First we can check for the processor, so it's a P3 800 megahertz. Let's see if that's any value. I put MHX rather than MHZ, just do that again. Okay, is that any value? Wow, £17 there's one there, and 29 there's one there. So, do they sell? This is the question. Advanced, sold listings only. There's a complete machine, a Dell. That's a slot 1. Right, one sold for £6.45. Oh, plus 11 postage from the USA. So yes, they are saleable, but they don't fetch very much money. How about the motherboard? So this is a P6 BAP-ME. Well, none have sold, so that really doesn't tell us anything. It either tells us they're very rare or nobody wants them. Let's go back into the normal listings. So this is normal listings now. For sale. Yeah, this is for sale. Okay. Well, I find one for sale for 35. Although none have sold, I find somebody who really wants to get a lot of money for one there. Which processor has he got with this? $395. It surprises me sometimes the difference in prices you find offered on retro hardware. And what's wrong with the picture? Yeah, what's that strip of something across there all about? Not there. No idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know think it actually says which CPU it is, strangely enough. I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to put this processor and motherboard together to be worth 35. But you know, I shall probably keep this because I haven't got a working P3 myself, and I like to collect this stuff. Let's have a look at the graphics card while we're here. See what this thing actually is. So it's a SD 1M16-4. It's probably a 4 meg graphics card. It's a SYS 6326. It's one of them, yeah. SYS 6326. Do they fetch any money? SIS 6326. I doubt it. Wow, 48. Another one, 31. That's a different card. Let's go to the sold listings again. Advanced. Of any sold, that's the best way. Yeah, for £10, £8. Okay, guys, I'm sure we can put this thing down as worth €35, but I don't think I'll be selling this. I think this will be another machine for my collection of retro hardware. A Pentium 3 socket 370. If, like me, you're into your retro hardware and you don't have a Pentium 3 socket 370, yes, I have slot 1 Pentium 2s and Pentium 3s. I think you would probably agree with me. That's nice for that, what it's worth. It's not a lot of money. I think it's worth more to me just to say that I own one. Okay, let's have a look at the last machine. And here is the last one. The case is in a little bit better condition, apart from the fact the plastic is split here. Yeah, it's been like sort of put on wrong, but other than that, a bit better. And this is a bit interesting, I think, because this is clearly an ATX machine, but it has an AT keyboard. Quite possibly there is a PS2 keyboard slot behind here as well, but that makes this older. That makes this like all those Pentium 1s as I found on the part 2 video to this series, but it's ATX and they were all AT. So my guess is this probably is a Pentium 1. This is the type where the whole lid comes off, so you can have a think about it while I do this. There are a few interesting looking cards in it. Let's have a quick look before we open it. Okay, you can just see again. So we have obviously serial and parallel. Then we have, those are a couple of USBs. And what are these things next to them? Mouse and keyboard, mouse and infrared. Okay. Graphics card and a sound card. I bet it is an ISA sound card. Nothing nicer than an ISA. Eh? Again, this is the old style case where this comes off altogether. That is possibly repairable. If I wanted to keep it, I could probably glue that. What have we got? It's a slot 1 machine. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting because it's both slot 1 and 370. So this takes both. And this has one ISA slot again. And this may be actually a bit more interesting than the previous one. It says PC100 ZX 1440 on this. I do like crossover machines like this where they were obviously between the two technologies. This is the sort of thing I like. For example, the one I have which has both AGP and PCIe on it. That's a socket 775 actually with AGP. Very interesting board because it will run Windows 98 natively. Okay, and you can even fit both cards in at once, both types. So let's have a look. We have something in the way and I'm going to zoom out. I do like this sort of thing as well. Another reason I've noticed that it has the cables. So this is like a cross between an AT and an ATX board, basically. Or possibly, actually, this is this AT? No, it's ATX. Definitely is ATX. Yeah, you can see the cables down here. So this is obviously on like the cusp of one to the other, and that's the sort of thing that I want. This is interesting, this fan holder here. I may keep this one rather than that other motherboard we were just looking at. What's in here? So, sound card. Let's have a look. Creative CT4810, so that's a Creative Labs sound card, I'm sure. CT, Creative Technology. I have somewhere a nice optical drive to go with that. Yeah, so this is just a bracket with infrared mouse and 2 USBs on it. Some serial ports. Okay. Yeah, parallel port. Yeah. Serial ports, okay. And this has an ATX power connector, of course. I'll probably have to take the power supply out to get it this one. Okay. It also has, again, we've seen on one of the other parts, it has both ATX and AT power connectors on it. I think this is something for my collection. If it works, of course. If it actually works. Let's have a look to see what we've got then. So, motherboard, as we know, is a 370 with a slot 1. Both ATX and AT power connectors. AGP, 3 PCI and 1 ISA. That's a very nice thing. 1 strip of RAM. 64 meg. Bit dusty, but we can assume that it to be clean. No manufacturer's name on it as far as I can tell, but I know full well that somebody will know what this is. Oh, well, yeah, that one. PC100 ZX I440. Okay. ZX I440, so hopefully that's what it is. 1 hard drive, Fujitsu. Do we see what capacity this thing is? 1999 is the year. I don't know, 3064 AT, maybe a 3 gig. I don't really know. We can hopefully try it. And the graphics card is another one of these fairly generic things. C128ZX. Don't think it's of any particular value. But let's see if it works. Processors are 400 megahertz. You can see that much. Notice this has no heatsink on. It has no fan on. I think that might have been rattling around in the bottom of the case, actually. Yeah, this thing. So that certainly fits. Seized up as well, but that certainly fits. Okay. And then there's no markings on to tell me which cable goes where, and I just disconnected them all. I can look for a manual, but otherwise probably I can work it out with the voltmeter. Let's have a look. I couldn't find a user manual for this. Maybe it does exist with a bit more searching, but it's normally quite easy to figure out which is the power pin. So what we need to do is look around on all the pins here, measuring to ground. So I've got this onto one of the grounds and see if we can find any pins that have 5 volts on them. So, well, that one has 5 volts. That's 0.24. Nothing, nothing, nothing. All these appear to be 0. Okay. So I've just got the power supply attached, obviously just on standby. Was that just... It's probably just those first two that I found, so... Nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. So we have 5 volts. And we have this low voltage seems to have gone now, okay? So that is almost certainly the start pin, and the other one with a bit of voltage on is probably the reset. We can have a look. I'll just switch the power off. Let's go to ohms range. So the other pin should go to ground. Actually, that one doesn't. It reads 10k. So it's possible it connects to that one. That reads, let me just make sure I've got a good connection on it. Just tens of ohms. I'm not sure I have a good connection on ground actually. Like a capacitor charging. 10k. So I think it's likely that it's either across here to here or it's here to here. I mean, that's going to be the power, so I think we can just connect it to one of these two, and now let's see what happens. Okay. I'm not sure where the speaker goes. Doesn't seem to have one on board, so let's just try that with what we've got and see if it actually starts. I have the fan attached. I'm not sure it's actually going to spin though, to be quite honest. Let's see. Yeah, the fan's spinning, so that's definitely the power. Okay. Doesn't bleep, but there again, I don't have a speaker attached. But I'm sure that's the start button. I have a feeling these 4 after the notch may well be the speaker, but I don't know for certain. So I'm going to put the graphics card in, and let's just see if we get a picture out of this. Okay. Power on, start. No blue light, no anything. So due to the fact that I don't have any information where the speaker goes, I can only guess it might go there. Oh, no, I tell a lie. I tell a lie. I just have to wait a little bit. Okay, so we're running, it's a Pentium 2400. CMOS obviously is bad because it's not effectively got a good battery in. Yeah. But there you have it. So it looks very much like this one's also a good working one. We have the hard drive for this. Let's actually see if we can get it to boot up. Okay, I've put my cooling fan just blowing across the CPU. I will actually attach a keyboard before we try. So this is just an adapter, you can see it there, yeah. Okay, let's give it a go. You'll probably hear my fan this time. Starter. Hard drive spinning up. White. Yeah, blue light. Okay, F1 to run setup. I'll just save the defaults and then we'll try and boot this one. Load optimal settings. Yes. Save settings and exit. Yes. See what it does. It's not getting hot. Okay. It's found the hard disk. And we have Windows 98. Okay, I think it's just saying there's no mouse connected, basically, because there isn't, because I didn't put one in. It's found my monitor. I think it's just trying to load some drivers, probably for the monitor. See if we can get around this without the mouse. Next. Okay, so that looks good, guys. This machine was being used as recently as 2004, we can see it there, and 2005. Obviously used as a business machine. Okay, guys, so that's definitely working. Let's have a look to see if this is worth anything. Switch it off. Okay. And now it's saying you can switch off your equipment. Obviously this doesn't have the circuitry to shut down. Probably because it's a kind of an AT-80X motherboard. So here we have the i440 motherboard. I've tried ZX i440, didn't really find anything, or PC100. And the price is kind of like all over the place, but this is a 440EX. Mine, I really don't know. This is i440, ZX, LX. It's very hard to say what this is worth, and sold listings didn't tell me either. So I'm going to put this down at £35 with the CPU, unless anybody seriously objects to that, then that's what we can say it's worth. The graphics card we can put in, so it's a C128ZX. Nothing coming up in that respect. Let's have a look at sold listings. Advanced, sold. Yeah, it's obviously not that common because there's none listed for sale, but one sold recently for £25, so I think we'll put that down as 25. So CT 4810. What's that? Well, that went in auction for £250. That went to auction for £4.99. Oh, this went buy it now for £10, buy it now for £16.97, buy it now for £10, but then one fetched £3 and £4. That's parts only. I think we can honestly put this down as £10. I think it's reasonable. They do sell. 31st of December, 5th of January, 7th of January. That's recently. So yeah. I think we can put £10 down for that as well. So we've got a little bit of money there, to be quite honest. And that's all of the PCs from that batch. So we looked at all of them now. We have one which we can have a little bit of fun with, seeing if we can actually reflow or rebolish, just to see what would happen. And we have 4 of the old Pentium 1s from the previous video in this series. 3 that just don't boot. I think it may be the Dallas real-time clock chips, and one which has a short on it. And we have good versions of both boards, so we should be able to get somewhere with those, I would think. Okay, so there will be a part 4 where we try doing the reflow, and then there'll be a part 5 where we try to repair those old boards and see where we get to. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you're looking forward to the final parts of this video. Hopefully we can add a bit more to the tally, but it's looking good already, I think you'll agree. And I'll see you all soon on another Learning Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.